Hi, welcome back to Tamara's Tarot and Oracle channel. Today I thought I would share with you my latest deck that I received yesterday from Amazon. It is one of the many, I should even say countless versions that are out there of a classic, and one that certainly every tarot enthusiast has in their collection. And it is none other than the Rider Waite Tarot. But this one is the Tarot of A E Waite, and it's by AGM Urania, printed in Germany, and it is the English version. So it comes in a great little sturdy two-part box. Love it. I wish every tarot deck came like this. I can't stand the tuck boxes because they don't last a terribly long time. Like, I'm very careful with my decks, but unfortunately, you know, taking them in and out and everything, the wear and tear over time happens quite quickly. And I do like a lot of the original tuck boxes that decks come in. I prefer boxes to bags. I just like the way it's stored and everything. So it's great that this one comes in this type of box. It's actually quite a pretty box. So, I mean, I love it. It's just, here's the front cover and the back. The back says, the popular tarot cards of Arthur E. Waite and Pamela Colman Smith, Premium Edition, 78 cards, colors and backside of the cards according to the first edition from 1909. Booklet, 98 pages, great little booklet, by the way. Instruction and guidance from Rachel Pollack. We love Rachel Pollack. And Johannes Fiebig, I apologize if I mispronounced that. Share the magic, AGM Urania. So that's what this is. And then Tarot of A E Waite, that's what the sides look like. And Tarot of A E Waite English edition. And there's their little trademark and email in that. So in Germany, I love getting decks from Europe and the UK. Like, that's just in Australia and really anywhere and everywhere around the world. It's so exciting, you know, to think that this has been there. And yeah, so the booklet, it's going to falling out. And you know what's great is that it's all in English, so it's all dedicated to your understanding of the deck. I like the way it's written. I find that I've owned previous Rider Waite decks like the Universal and the Radiant. To be honest, I wasn't wild about the Universal. I preferred the Radiant over the Universal, and I trimmed the Radiant, and it just never felt the same way to me. And I just feel strongly about, like, when you're modifying decks, I don't know, it just doesn't feel the same to me. And I'm always better off of just have left it and wished I had have left it. And every time I'm tempted and I kind of just think, okay, well, maybe this time it'll be different. I always regret doing it and wish that I hadn't. So I just completely got sidetracked. But yeah, so what was I saying? So aside from that one, yes, I had the Albano, which I was disappointed with. I didn't mind the bright colors online, but when I got them and had them in hand, it was just too garish, but not in a good way. Like, I guess garish isn't really a good thing at all, but it just didn't appeal to me. And the line work was really blotchy and messy, and that just totally turned me off. So I sold it. Yeah, but anyway, I like this version is the more classic looking images, which let me just reiterate that I never felt myself especially drawn to Pamela Colman Smith's artwork. That's why I've always been kind of looking elsewhere for Rider Waite clones. Like, it is the system that I'm most familiar with, and I really do. I like it. It feels safe and it feels like reliable. I'm a little bit familiar with Marseille, not too much, and the Thoth I haven't even delved into at all. It's not really my thing right now, and maybe at some point I'll change my mind or my views on that. But I'd rather get really good at one system first. And anyway, the Rider Waite is the one that I am typically most used to. And this, even though I have owned a couple previous Rider Waite-esque decks, like the Universal and the Radiants are more like clones. Like, I mean, they are Rider Waite, but they're not really. Like, they're sort of more modern variation of it. This one feels like my first actual real Rider Waite, and it's kind of cool. I mean, I opened it up and I looked through the cards and everything, and I cleansed the deck, or cleared the deck rather, and it just had this sort of this energy and this power that like this is like this powerful divination tool, and it's been around for a long time, and you know, it just feels like this is like the deck of all decks in a way. And I did a lot of research and a lot of looking around online, and I really wanted to get a Rider Waite that was, you know, prettier than most, and the, you know, the stipulations were that it didn't have a copyright because they drive me nuts. It didn't have blotchy lines. The colors were a particular way. So I was just, you know, looking at all these YouTube videos and comparisons and things like that. I didn't want to spend a ton of money. I do have my eyes set on the, gosh, from the 70s, and it's in a blue box, I think, with the world card on the cover. And I think you can get it on eBay secondhand or whatever. And I think it's a little bit pricey, so I've held off on that. I know the Centennial edition is a very popular one. I found it a bit dark. Not that I wouldn't get it. I just didn't, like, if I'm going to have one for now, I didn't want that to be the one that I have. I was very particular with the shades of blue, blue being my favorite color. I'm very drawn to blues and purples even, you know, cool colors. The original, which is really easy to come by, the original and the one in the yellow box, which is the printed in Italy, not Switzerland. All of the Switzerland one I was looking for pre-copyright date, and I think that one also is a little bit pricier, so I held off on that with the plaid backs. That was more of like before US games put their silly little copyright trademark on the cards. Oh gosh, now my mind is just oh gosh, I completely forgot what I was saying. What was I saying? I don't know. I'm I'm all over the place. But anyway, I wanted some. Oh yeah, sorry. So the one in the yellow box that's really easy to come by, that's printed in Italy, that's like readily available in most all esoteric stores. That one, the blues are the way I like it, like very bright blue, that light bright sky blue. But the yellows are quite bright and garish, and so I find that a little bit too offensive is the right word, but just a little bit too jarring maybe. I might have that for like, I do like readings with, you know, public, like more professional readings or whatever. But for myself, a deck to use on myself and just, you know, close friends and family, loved ones, that kind of thing. I just wanted something that was just, it had to have certain criteria. So I'll get back to the little booklet in a second. The cards, you know what? I have a new appreciation for the AGM cardstock. I find it very durable, a little slippy, but really easy to shuffle, really manageable. And another thing that I didn't like about the Universal and the Radiant was the cardstock. It felt so incredibly cheap. And that totally turned me off. Like, I'm very picky about cardstock when it comes to my tarot decks. I'm picky about the line work. I like it to look clean and consistent. It's just the way I aesthetically what appeals to me and how I kind of take in the image and the energy and everything. It's just something that I definitely look for. The color palette, you know, I tend to be attracted to very like bright colors, but sometimes a softer palette. It just really all depends on the theme of the deck and all that. So, and the font, the typeface, like sometimes if it's done poorly, then it just kind of ruins the whole look. You know, the imagery obviously, and seeing the same card like interpreted differently and adding kind of a new nuance or new kind of understanding to a whole new, you know, other way of thinking and whatever. So it really like, oh, that gives me a new perspective, or it adds it on and kind of another layer to what that means. So that's also like, I look for a bunch of different things that I'm sure we all do, and we all have our own preferences and things like that. And some things may not appeal to us at first, and then, you know, we're later drawn to it, or vice versa. But anyway, so very quickly, this comes with, you know, a guarantee. And if your deck's defected, whatever, you've got to send it back, the defective card with the major arcanas. So, I mean, and then it just tells you other decks within the series. The Tarot Aleister Crowley, Thoth, or Toth. Is it Toth or Thoth? I hear people saying different things, so I'm not sure which one's the right one. This one's Toth without the H. Anyway, Vision Quest Tarot, Old Path Tarot, which I love, and the Mystical Lenormand. I haven't gotten into Lenormand. I just want to really, you know, do my tarot and then take it from there. So the backs are the crackle backs, which I really liked. I like the plaid backs, and the Centennial is a pretty back, but again, with the Centennial, it's a bit darker, the color palette, so I thought I'd, you know what, maybe at a later time, but not yet. So the crackle backs are nice, and there are no copyright anywhere, not in the front and not in the back, and I love that. I really do. This is a premium edition, so I guess it's sort of like a fancier edition, and the size is amazing. And of course, like always, I never have another deck to compare it to, but it is average tarot. I mean, for AGM tarot decks, it's the same. This is about an average size tarot card. The dimensions, I can't think offhand, but it's pretty standard. And I think Scarabeo is maybe thinner. But yeah, this is pretty average. I love the color palette. It's a very pretty Rider Waite. The prettiest I've ever held, and definitely one of the prettiest out there, I would say, in the top 3 that I viewed online. It's definitely maybe the second prettiest I've seen. The first one was the blue box with the world on the cover from the 70s, as far as I could tell. But like, again, like that was online, it wasn't in person. So things look very different in person than they do online, as I was sorely disappointed with the Albano. Looked really cool online, but I personally didn't jive with it. Or it didn't jive with me in person. But the blues in this, although they're toned down and I really wanted the bolder blue, I didn't really want the bolder yellow, and I didn't want the copyright, and I wanted a particular cardstock. Anyway, so this is the deck that I decided to get in the end, and I'm very happy with it. Like, I'm not a Rider Waite, like Pixie Coleman Smith art, you know, the style doesn't necessarily appeal to me, but I really like this one, and I'm starting to have a change of heart, so I'm really happy about that. I'll just show you some. And the line work is very clean, and I know not as messily done as the original with the fleur-de-lis or at the back, the blue and white flowers. And so I really did focus on, you know, kinds of things that I was looking for in a Rider Waite deck if I'm going to have one right now. And they're very easy to see all the details, all the line work. I believe this is a Pam A because the sun has that little squiggly line. It was like Pam A, Pam B, Pam C. I don't fully understand, like I do at the time, but then I forget what it all means. But yeah, and unfortunately the typeface is not the original. I was hoping it would be, because in the one that was advertised for this particular deck, it did look like it with the period at the end. But then when I got here, obviously it's not. But I mean, it doesn't break it for me. Like for some, it might be like, oh, you know, you got your good cardstock, you have your cleaner lines, you have your softer color palette, you don't have the trademark, copyright or whatever. But you have, unfortunately, you've sacrificed the the classic typeface. So I don't think there's such a thing as the perfect tarot deck, right? Like, you're going to have things that you like and things that you don't like, but there are certainly those out there that come pretty darn close. Okay, I'll just show you some of my favorite ones that are left in the deck. I love that. It has a really nice energy and really nice presence. I love the blues. Even the yellows are softer. Like, I wouldn't want it to be any brighter than that. And the Hermit, like the Centennial, I feel like the color of this background is what it is for most of the cards. It's got that more gray type, you know. I think the backs are more of that color. I don't know if you can really tell how true the color is in this camera, but yeah. 4 of Cups. I just love the blue. It's very pretty. 6 of Wands. I love the 5 of Swords. Like, Let me see if I can find it. Oh, I really like the King of Pentacles. A lot of line work going on there, a lot of detail, fine detail. And so with the lines being cleaned up, you can really see each and every little, last shape and an object. So that's nice. Here we go. The Five of Swords. You really can see like the unsettling feeling that the clouds give, that kind of erratic, he's sort of being underhanded, and you get the vibe of that card, the energy quite nicely. Oh, I love the Emperor. I love the Emperor. Those rosy cheeks. I like the World card. I like her face in it. Like I don't have any others to compare this to as in other Rider Waites. So when I get another one, it'll be nice to do like a comparison video of my own. Yeah, so, pretty standard. I'm sure most of you all know what a Rider Waite deck looks like. It's very soft. The colors are more subdued. And I really like that. The strength which you find on the cover. And here's the sun with the little squiggly line. Where is it? There it is. Oops. Sorry. This one was my card for the day today. Juggling different things, multitasking, perhaps even choosing which things might work better than other things and let the other things that don't work as well go. I have a tough time letting things go. Yeah. The Lovers. Very nice. Just a really nice deck, like a really pretty Rider Waite deck. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm not going to go through every card. You get the gist, but yeah, so I mean, it's really nice, really bendy. It's kind of hard to do in midair, but yeah, I mean, I'm not really a rifle shuffler so much. I like to do that to break in the deck, and it kind of just energizes the energy, I feel. And it also really separates the cards nicely, but typically I'm just like an overhand, shuffler, and I do that until I feel ready to pull a card. So yeah, really nice, glides nicely. I'm really happy with this deck. So very quickly, the little white book is quite thick. I think I said 96 pages. 95, I guess. Is there another one? There is. I'm going cross-eyed. Anyway. And yeah, it basically devotes a page to each card. It talks about like what the card is all about, the divinatory meaning, the warning or advice, and the action. So it looks like that, and it's like that for each and every card of the deck. So yeah, and in the beginning, it just gives you some spreads. It gives you 3 cards for the day, the Oracle, a peek into the future, part 1, and then a peek into the future, part 2, the Star, the Celtic or Sun Cross. So I'm typically more drawn to like a 3 to 5 card spread. I like it because it's more concise, gets to the point, easier to kind of remember. Like, I mean, you can write things down. I'm not a huge journaler, and I need to become more of one because then I can kind of keep track more. I do like to write, but for some reason, not in the way of journals and that kind of thing. So I do sometimes, but not enough. I find with the Celtic Cross, it's just so, I don't want to say convoluted, but it's just like there's, it's like, ugh, what does that all mean? Like, let's just get to the meat of it. So that's typically what I tend to do, or the one card, or even the 2 card. I have keywords that I associate with every card, and so if I do a 2 card, I kind of put those keywords together, and it tells a story, or 3 cards, or 4, you know what I mean? And you can kind of do it that way, and I have like different ways of doing that. So yeah, anywhere from 1 to 5 cards is typically my thing. Probably 1 to 3 is the most popular, and then if I want some clarification, I'll pull 1 or 2 more cards. So I prefer the spreads that are like no more than 4 or 5 cards typically. Otherwise, it just starts becoming too, like, I just really like to focus and hone in on, you know, the bulk of it, or the essence of it. So yeah, so that is my probably longer, oh my God, 20 minutes. So that is my video on my tarot of A E Waite. I highly recommend this version. No copyright, durable cardstock, really easy to manage, really pretty, soft, subdued colors, very clean, consistent line work, and a really great little white book. And I think I was going to say this earlier, and then I don't know, I got sidetracked, as I tend to do. And here I go again. The books that came with the Universal and the Radiant were in an old English language that just was like, you know, the old style of the Edward Arthur Waite books that you can get out there. And it's just like, just say it to me like it is, like, be real, and let's like say it in English that I can, you know, more modernized, that I can really understand and relate to. And this one does that. So yes. So yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I want to say. There's a little table of contents at the beginning, and it really does give you a great little run through of each and every aspect of working with this deck. And about this edition, the true tarot is symbolism. It speaks no other language and offers no other signs. Arthur E. Waite, The Pictorial Key to the Tarot, 1910. I have not looked at that one. I feel like that's probably written in like that old English that, I mean, it's just like, okay, let's just revise this so it's easier to get through, for me anyway. Yeah, so it's the best-selling edition by Koenigswert Urania. Oh gosh, terrible pronunciation. An AGM Urania from Germany and Switzerland, has been published for more than 20 years now and highly acclaimed for the unsurpassed reprint of the colors of the historic cards of Arthur E. Waite and Pamela Colman Smith. And then it goes on, introduction and so on and so forth. That is it. Thank you so much for watching. You can get this online. It's not too expensive. It's a great addition to any tarot collection. And if you're into Rider-Waite, or even if you're not so drawn to the artwork like myself, this one is a great one to have because I feel like it's one of the prettier versions out there. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you think, if you agree or not, what your favorite Rider-Waite editions are, and all that good stuff. So like it if you do, comment. I always like to hear some, you know, positive feedback, hopefully, and subscribe and all that good stuff. And I will see everybody soon. Thank you so much for watching Tamara's Tarot and Oracle channel. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day or night, wherever you are in the world. And I will see everybody very soon. Take care.